brakes, you can really lean on them. This is a lot more engaging, man. A lot more. The echo off here. There's like no engine noise and it just goes bang like. Right guys, so we're doing a video on this lovely Leon Cupra 300 behind us today. We're going to compare it to the Edition 40 Golf that we did last month. We're also going to compare it to the Golf 4 as well. Similar sort of MQB thing. We've covered a lot of these on the channel now. We've actually done the Leon Cupra 290 last year, and I've also driven a tuned one as well. The 300 has got a nice few extra little upgrades. But quickly, before we get into all of that though, I just want to give a quick thank you to all of you guys who subscribed from Ricky's channel. If you're not aware, we did a little collab with Living Life Fast. It's been long overdue and we finally got it done last weekend, so go and check that video out if you haven't already. But yeah, what we'll do now, we'll give you guys a little walk around, show you the spec on this lovely example here, and yeah, we'll take you for a drive. Right guys, so here we have it, the Leon Cupra 300. As mentioned, we did a video on the 290 last year, the old 290, and we've also driven a tuned one. We've covered a lot of MQB cars on the channel, stuff like the GTI Edition 40, quite a similar car to this, of course multiple Golf 4s as well. So we have a good feel of how it's going to drive like already. But in terms of differences compared to the older Leon Cupra, the 290, got a slightly different front bumper. Of course, this one is a 5-door and it's finished in quite a nice dark blue metallic paint. It looks to me a bit like lapis blue from the Golf 4, but just a slightly bit darker. Of course, this one's got the nice panoramic roof as well, and these newer alloys from what I can see. Red brake calipers too, sets it off nicely with the rare sort of red brake lights. Of course, brake lights are normally red, but they just look cool anyway. And generally just a nice few extra touches from what I can remember. The interior is very cool on this as well. I am going to show you that in a second, but we'll just show you all the diffuser and the exhaust tips. Nice few little slatted lines there just to make it look a bit nicer. The panoramic roof is one thing that really sets off the car though. I've always said it as well with the MQB cars, when you see that roof, it definitely sets off the top of the car with a little wind deflector and stuff. But in terms of the engine, the 300, of course, the familiar 2-litre EA AAA engine, makes around 296 bhp in this, or 300 PS, whichever way you want to say it. 10 horsepower less than the equivalent Golf 4 at any one time, so it's quite confusing. Right now they've gone back to the 290, and also the Golf 4 and the S3 have gone back down to 300, so there's always like a 10 horsepower difference. The main difference between both cars though is this is front wheel drive and the R and the S3 of all wheel drive, Haldex, you can put it that way. So this car is more similar to like a GTI Club Sport Edition 40 with a bit more power, of course. I'm not expecting it to be that different to that car, but of course the Cupra does look quite different. It has got a nice few extra touches, and they're probably a bit more reasonable in terms of their pricing. The GTI Club Sports, because they're quite limited run as well, they are holding the value quite well, and it is pretty much the same car underneath. But yeah, we'll show you the interior now. It is quite windy as well. I am standing in the middle of the road, so hopefully don't get run over, so excuse any noise. Flat bottom steering wheel, as you can see, standard VAG issue car. Got these lovely seats as well, got a nice side support. I do remember these from the 290 that I drove. From what I can remember also, there were these bucket style ones that were available as well. I'm not too sure if they're still available. The one thing annoying now is the configurator is changed to the 290 again, so I couldn't really read up on all the spec that's available. But this has got this carbon effect finish from what I can remember with the 7Rs used to have. Even on the door as well, you get this nice Alcantara patch, and this whole strip here there is a sort of carbon effect. One of the main upgrades though is the option of a virtual cockpit, or whatever they sort of refer to it. I am pretty sure it is an option. I'll have to confirm. Like I said, I couldn't really check the configurator, but we'll just hop in now because it is really windy out there. It just feels a bit more higher quality in here from what I can remember. This one is a DSG. I do believe this is the 6-speed DSG. One thing with the newer 290, not the old version, the new 290, is that I believe it's finally got the 7-speed, so that was long overdue for the Cupra. I don't know why it took them so long to put it in, but I do believe the 300s have the 6-speed. I mentioned also in the 290 video last year that I love the way the inside of the Cupra sort of reflects the outside of the car. Like if you look at the wing mirrors and the lights and everything, it's sort of a reflection of how the dash is, like with the sort of slats here and the way this sort of curves like that. It is a very nice cabin. It isn't really like, to me it doesn't really feel like a cheaper version of like a Golf GTI or something like that, or a Golf 4, sorry. It feels like its own car. I know people say they're all the same thing, but they definitely have got their own appeal. I do find it strange though, the way the Seats have always been a victim of this sort of politics game in the Volkswagen group. It's always had 10 horsepower less than the equivalent R and S3, and even when the model range is changed, they still take that 10 horsepower difference across. Like now, of course, the new R and S3 have gone to 300, so they've knocked the Cupra back down to 290, even though this one is a 300. It's all kind of negligible on the road anyway, from what I felt. These things actually feel a bit more nippier when you're on the road anyway, because they're a bit lighter. Of course, they are front wheel drive, but they have got the same diff arrangement as like a GTI Club Sport or a Performance Pack. They really tug into the bends, a really nice feeling. I do love the way front wheel drive cars with the diff drive. They feel a bit more engaging. The R and the S3, they are very sort of planted, etc. And the Golf R is a bit more sharper than the S3, but there's always that sort of lean, or there's not much of a tug into the corner that you get in one of these or the GTI Club Sport Edition 40. But yeah, what we'll do now, we'll turn the car on, we'll get a few sound clips as well, revving and stuff, and yeah, we'll take it on the road. Right, so the start procedure, very familiar. S3, R, Club Sport Edition 40, all of these cars make practically the same noise. As you can see, got the little speedo there. The fuel and the temperatures on the side in their own little display. It's quite different to the arrangement you got in the other two cars. A bit more angular looking with the lines and everything. It's all pretty similar to the way they've done the rest of the car. And also, I've just noticed got a nice light here. This has been a sort of selling point for the Cupra. It's always had this nice ambient lighting. I'm pretty sure it changes as well depending on what driving mode you've got. What we'll do, we'll put the car into Cupra mode, like the drive select function. So you press it there. Well, not to see, as you can see, the revs have gone up slightly. Very familiar. It's probably in S mode now, but as you can see, the Cupra, it has got dynamic chassis control. I believe it's standard on the Cupra, which is a nice touch. It's optional on the S3 and the R. It's like a magnetic ride sort of thing. Quite nice. It definitely does help with the handling from what I felt. But yeah, let's get some revs. As you heard, they got its own distinctive little exhaust note, pops and bangs and all of that stuff. The Cupras have always had this quite crazy DSG bang as well, which I'm going to show you when we take it for a drive. So what we're going to do now, we're going to switch to the GoPros, and yeah, let's take it for a drive. Right guys, so here we are on the Cupra 300. The angle I'm going to take with this video, we're going to compare it to the GTI Club Sport, which we filmed last month, and also the Golf 7R as well. The Club Sport is a rarer car, so it's not really too comparable in that regard, but it is a very similar car underneath. Front wheel drive with the diff and the same sort of engine setup, the 2 litre with the same turbo, but that has got a bit less power. This has around 296 bhp, 10 less than the equivalent Golf R or S3. But these things definitely straight off the bat, very direct cars. Like this little twisty bit here tugs it right round. Of course, you get the wheel fighting a bit. I do love these fast front wheel drive cars with a diff because it makes you do a bit of work. And of course, these Cupras are known for their sort of aggressive driving, in terms of like, they like the enthusiast sort of stuff. The S3 is a very relaxed car, and the R is kind of in the middle. Of course, those cars are 4-wheel drive, so they have that advantage in terms of off the line, if you like traffic light, Grand Prix, stuff like that. But these cars, I mean, I've driven the 290 last year. I know this back to a 290 now with the latest model, but this 300 I haven't actually had a go in. And I've driven a tuned Cupra as well, but I think these cars front wheel drive 300 horsepower is probably more than enough, because that Club Sport I drove at 265, that felt quick, but from the brief drive that I've had so far getting the car up to these roads, there is a bit more urgency in this. I did say in that video that it does feel on par with the R on a road, but these things, because they got that 296 at all times, these feel a bit quicker than an R on a roll, mainly because of the light factor, etc. But we'll whack it back to second. This makes no fuss, it just gets going. The way this thing hangs into the bends is very impressive. It's a very different car to like an R and S3. It feels a lot more on edge, like on its toes. Very light feeling car. There's definitely an extra shove there compared to the its 4-wheel drive sort of siblings, you could say. Look at that. Very urgent car. Like here we've got a super. You can just sit here and like carry speed to the corner. Like you don't have to stress or worry that it's gonna fall over, like, or you're gonna have to hold the wheel really like tight, like it just sits on the bend. So you get a little wheel hop, but then it just gets going. Like if you look at the speed, I'm not gonna mention it, it's carrying serious speed, and we've got traction fully on. I normally, the first thing I do when I get in these cars is I turn traction into ESC Sport. It's doing a nice overrun as well. Nice overrun. I normally put it straight to ESC Sport because these MQB cars, even the Haldex ones, they can't handle like putting all the power down. This, even though the roads are damp, is dealing with it very well. Of course, it's the diff that's doing most of the work. Yeah, it's a quick car, man. Properly quick car. But yeah, in terms of like one question I want to answer with this video is it more fun than a Golf R? That's my main talking point with the video, and of course compared to a Club Sport. But I'd say this is a more fun car. The Golf R is very good at what it does. It's a very it's a perfect all-rounder, you know, winter, etc. You know, it does everything very well, but in standard form they're quite plain to drive. They just do everything like so efficiently that you want it to do something a bit worse. It's a strange one to explain, but you see how when you floor this, it moves around. It makes you do something, which is a key thing which is missing from that car. But when you compare it to the S3, it's a lot more fun than the S3, and I can say that having had the S3 for 2 years. But yeah, each of these MQB cars got their own strengths, definitely. What we'll do, we'll put it into ESC Sport. It's half off anyway, so it does cut in, but I want to see how it deals with these damp roads. Yeah, I can feel the diff doing a bit more work now. It was very lenient before though, I'm not gonna lie, but just that little bit there. Good job, the brakes are good. Oh, that DSG bank is proper Asbo, man. Second gear. Yeah, proper rush of power, man. Seems to be a lot of people on this road today as well, considering it's a Sunday. Yeah, this is its speciality though. It'll sit on these corners all day long. You'd have to back off in RS3 or add a lot of power to try and get it around, but then you're gonna have to tuck the front in. This just keeps adding power, carries on going in. It's nice as well. I'm just looking in the camera as well. This ambient lighting here, it just makes the cabin a lot more of a nicer place to be. This car as well is a nice example, got lovely blue paintwork, and it's got the panoramic roof as well. So you do feel, especially when you're driving it, it's not like you know how people like cuss certain cars, they go like, oh, the Seat interior, etc. But like, it's got its own unique touches. This ambient lighting isn't, I mean, I had an S3 and you had to probably pay for that stuff, and you probably still won't get this colour. First gear again. Bloody hell. Okay, that's with traction and half off. You do get the wheel hop, but I knew that anyway. They all do that. It's not like, I know it looks really dramatic, like what's happening, but they all do it. I think you can get upgrades to change that, but it is what it is, man. It's got a unique overrun, man. It does it like after a while. Yeah, I'll stop for a second. You guys can listen to the engine noise. That is close enough to the 290. I don't think it's that much quieter. Yeah, I thought maybe they toned it down. I read that they toned it down, but yeah, that's about the same. I do remember they saying that old 290 had a sports exhaust. I don't know if that was correct or not, but I'm pretty sure it did compared to the old 280. But this thing's loud enough. We'll echo it off here. There's like no engine noise and it just goes bang. Like, yeah, brakes, you can really lean on them. This is a lot more engaging, man. A lot more. Tucking it in here. Second. Yeah. The mid-range thrust is noticeably quicker than my S3 was. I expected it to be a bit quicker, but this feels like it's just flying towards the other end of the road, which I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect it to be that quick. Yeah, I'm impressed, man. Even though it's front wheel drive, I wouldn't say that's a disadvantage for this car. It's a disadvantage if you like mashing the throttle. if you're one of them guys. I know there are a lot of people who love that sort of stuff, but if you want a like proper driving tool in this MQB platform, I'd say the Cupra is still probably one of the best. Of course, you've got stuff like the special editions like the Cupra R. They made a limited run version, and also you got the Club Sport S, but those are very expensive cars and they're quite rare to get hold of. I'm definitely interested to see how one of those limited run Cupra R drives though. They made another version on top of this, very limited run car. I think there's only like 24 in the UK, and they got like a slightly different body kit, and they got 310 horsepower. They must be really fun, but I highly doubt I'd be able to get hold of one of them to film. A Club Sport S though, I have got a lead for that, which I am going to drive soon. Manual only, it's stripped out the back, and it's more of a collector's item, but yeah, these things are impressive for sure. Very impressive for the money, very impressive. Right people, so that was the Leon Cupra 300. I thought we'll end the video here because it is starting to rain and it is getting quite dark. It's not even 4 PM by the UK. Winter timing is just a mess. Very fun car though. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It is more of a fun car than a Golf R, I will say that. Very similar to the Club Sport Edition 40, but it is noticeably quicker. I can confirm that. It's not just like extra 20-30 horsepower. Very quick car on the third gear, second gear pull. But yeah guys, definitely stay tuned for a lot more content to come. Make sure to subscribe as well, and then yeah, I'll see you in the next one.